Thanks for tuning in to Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. Tonight's episode is brought to you by none other than Retired Rockstar. At Retired Rockstar, they celebrate the spirit of those who never lost their edge. They craft bold, timeless fashion accessories for men over the age of 45. Check out the authenticity of the brand at retiredrockstarbrand.com. Retired Rockstar. Live loud, stay legendary. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. Today, I have the honor and the privilege of hosting a brother. I just think it's a kismet sort of thing here. My brother, he hails from Baltimore, Maryland. He is Jastin Artis, or as I like to say, artiste. Give him a round of applause, everybody. Appreciate you coming on, brother.
Hey man, I appreciate being here, and as always, got to thank God for the opportunities to connect. I want to shout out my wife Kelly, I love you, and my boys Jason, Jameis, I love you, Jameis. Rest in heaven. So yeah, man, thank you for having me, man. This is one like I think it's gonna be for the books.
This is gonna be
I
one for the
don't want to
books.
put too much. I like things to speak for itself, but when you said Kendrick Spears, man, I think that is a good way to say it, excuse me.
Yes, absolutely. I agree, man. I just want to say for everybody that's listening, and everybody that's watching this on YouTube, this brother reached out to me. Again, we don't know each other from a can of paint. We've had literally one conversation, but I have to say that conversation was very profound. For two brothers, in different states across the country, what have you. I kind of say it was almost like we broke bread, bro. To
Yeah.
me, it's almost like we
Okay.
sat down at lunch and had a
Hmm.
actual meaningful conversation between two black men, two
Yep.
educated black men, two confident black men, two black men who are responsible, raise families, and things like that. And,
Yep.
and that's exactly what I like to bring to the show. But more importantly, man, the conversation really, really, really impacted me. You know what I mean? Your experience and your story definitely needs to be told. And I know that you have your own platform and resources to do that. But when you reached out, sent me the email, I'm just sort of mad that I didn't catch it earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I really am, bro. But you know what? It's God's timing. It's God's
That's
timing.
right.
Talking to you, I know that you're a man of faith. And for people that are listening, this is not going to be a podcast trying to steer you in any direction. It's just going to be two brothers talking things through. I want you to get to know Jastin as an artist, as a professional, and as a man. And he shared with me some things that not a lot of people, especially black men,
Come on, come on.
are not vulnerable enough and open enough and transparent enough to talk to each other, have real conversations. That's what impressed me most. That I also get the sense that in addition to sharing the knowledge, in order to have that knowledge, you had to be a seeker of knowledge. Would that be correct in my assumption?
Brother, you are absolutely correct. I
Talk
am,
about it, man. Tell the people who you are in your own words, and then let's get into it.
yeah, yeah. Well, first I'll just say I am a man of truth. I think that is just what I'm about. I know we have emotions and we have to figure that out, right? But the truth is the truth, man. Like I don't care. You can't reframe the truth. It is what it is. So in any aspect of my life, that's what I'm looking at. Whether again holding myself accountable,
Hmm.
looking at someone else, business or just personal, because people be doing some wild stuff and want
Right,
to act like they don't know the truth, right?
right. They
And
pretend.
pretend, fake it, look you
Hmm.
dead in your eyes. I grew up lying as a youngster,
You
as a
did
young
too.
lad, as they said. Yeah, man. I don't know what it was, but it was like I look my mom straight in her face and be like, nah, I ain't eat the candy. You know what I'm saying? Before dinner. Bruh, I ate the candy. You can smell it on my breath. You see the
Right,
wrapper in the trash, right?
right.
So I think it definitely was a phase because after that, that's when it really changed to where I understood why telling the truth was important and probably really started my level of integrity. I'm
Hmm.
higher integrity, man. Like I said, like I'm not perfect. I don't deem anyone else to be perfect, but I doggone sure put a strong effort. So I'll, lead into just who I am. I mean, first, as I was listening to a few of your episodes, I think someone said it, and I think the times right
Hmm.
now, I just want people to know I'm human first, right? Forget the labels, the titles, what I've
Right.
done, what I'm trying to do, where I've been. Like, I'm just human, right? So I just want people to keep that in mind as you're listening to us talk.
Hmm.
Um, I am a black man, proud black man. Um, as you mentioned earlier, educated. I seek information. Uh, I didn't know early on that I was a teacher because I was so much of a student. And when I found out that I had a superpower in teaching, the knowledge aspect still never went away.
Hmm.
To be honest, I'm probably like a knowledge junkie given the times we in with all these master classes and this
Right.
course and
Right.
that course. Man, I still got stuff I haven't even fully went through yet. But
Hmm.
when I see information and I feel like it would help me in any aspect, then I got to get it. Big on self-help books. I'm not really a novel person. I knew as a writer, I didn't want to write novels and things. I wanted to write songs because they're shorter, they're easy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
we
Right.
can get to it. So I
Yeah.
respect my writers, script writers, screenwriters, playwriters, all of y'all. But I seek information that way. I am a music professional, been a music entrepreneur for 6 years now. I would say that it wasn't by choice per se. God just did some things, and I was like, you know what? I'm ready to go for it. And so I've spent many, many, many years. It's well over 20 at this point.
Hmm.
Just learning the game of music, entertainment, doing the work, reaching out to artists, putting out my own work. I put out my 12th album last year.
12.
Yeah, 12. Like, bro, even A-list artists hadn't even put out 12 yet. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
Like
That's
that's,
right.
forget who's heard it, charting and all that stuff. But I've put out and I put in the work to put out 12 albums. Nobody making me, nobody like or label or manager like, hey man, you need to put out. It was,
Hmm.
bro, one year I put out like 3 albums, man. Like it was crazy.
I can dig it.
Um, but that's the type of person I am, man. I'm like, I've learned what I know through doing the work and sharing that information with other people. I'm also an A&R, so that is a big part of my teaching. I've
Hmm.
actually used the term A&R coach
Hmm.
because I feel like, I don't know, some people know what A&R is, some people don't. Some people think you need an A&R in terms of like only when you get signed to a major label.
Hmm.
But A&R, which stands for artist and repertoire, is someone who helps you develop.
Right.
I'm the type that I know the business side, but I enjoy most the creative side. Um, I was listening to your last episode. I think his gentleman's name is Ari, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken,
Yeah.
right?
Shout out to Ari
And
Martin.
you guys talked about a lot of creative stuff.
Hmm.
And something you said, I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm the conceptual guy,
Hmm.
right? When you hear my music, my punchlines are different. I don't, I ain't no Lil Wayne or
Right.
Jay or Cole, like, but my concepts, man, I'm big on concepts. I can hear music, somebody I can hear conversation,
Hmm.
whatever it is, and know like, hey, let's build a concept around this. Da, 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 da. And I think just that nugget you dropped in that last episode, I don't think a lot of creatives, artists, producers really think about that.
No, they just want to
And I
drop
and I
something.
love it. Yeah, they just want to drop something. I got these
Yeah.
bars, especially
Hmm.
if it's hip hop. If it's a vocalist, hey, I want to sing this big hook,
Hmm.
but there's no concept, which there in turn doesn't create a lot of connection, right? Um, so big on that. What else can I share? Yes, I'm a family man, married, two boys, lost one, and yeah, I guess I'll leave it there, man. Y'all
Okay.
learn more about me as we go along.
Sure. Now you said a couple things. One thing I want to touch on, you described yourself as I believe you said 6 years deep as a music entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to touch on that for a second
Uh-huh.
because I run into a lot of young artists, hip hop, R&B, whatever genre.
Yeah.
They don't consider themselves to be entrepreneurs. You know,
Oh man.
they're rappers, they're singers, and in the terms of we living in 2025. This is not 1995 or 2005 or 20 even 15.
Yep.
And they, I run into a lot of artists that still are seeking that big deal, that big
Yeah.
bag. And therefore they want to be indie only by circumstances. They
Hmm.
don't see themselves as a business.
Yeah.
And it's been difficult to try to reframe the brains of some young artists that I've worked with into understanding that you are a business. My job as your consultant for marketing, or my job as your manager, or my job as whatever capacity they hire me on to, because I do many different things for different
Yep.
people, different services. But whatever it is they hire me to do for them, it's a lot of times difficult for me to make them understand. You have to think of yourself as a small business, whether that be a
100%.
hardware store, you got to sell some hammers. If
Yep.
you're McDonald's, you got to sell some burgers.
Hmm.
And if you really want to do this for a living, you have to treat it as such.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't get that. Tell me a little bit about your first epiphany that I am a business. Yes, I'm a
Mm.
musician. Yes, I'm a songwriter.
Yeah.
Yes, everything that you do creatively,
Yeah.
that is what you are.
Yep.
But when did it hit you to say, no, I'm an entrepreneur?
Well, like you said, it's crazy. We about to be in 2026, and
Right.
there are many. I don't know the numbers, but it's a high percentage in the people that I have met. Doesn't matter what genre, doesn't matter what age,
Mm-hmm.
do not think that way. And
Right.
so I'm of the mindset creatives are leaders because now we're in a time where um with technology, apps, AI now, you can literally do anything,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, hopefully you're doing that the right way and with the right tools and all of that type of stuff. But you literally can do anything at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas even the cusp that I'm in, I'm early 40s, I saw it change from what used to be
Right.
to CDs coming into play to Facebook. I mean, I was in college, literally in college when Facebook came out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so seeing it and watching that, and I think even when I was younger, I was watching Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching like how Motown was built. I was always interested, but I had no desire to be a professional. But I think watching all of that, it still allowed me to see you're a business.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say when exactly I had that epiphany, but I know studying again,
Mm-hmm.
being a student,
Yep.
gaining information and knowledge. I'm traditionally an observer. I like to just sit and watch and see how things develop and
Right. Right.
what's going to happen. And I love watching new artists come out and watching that trajectory, right? And I think that's where my A&R mind comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've always just been attached to it and seeing, okay, when an artist is here, then they put out, they have a successful album, successful tour.
Mm-hmm.
Then usually what they do, they venture out in something else before their next album will come out, some type of product,
Right.
usually clothing line, especially in hip hop, right?
Right. Right.
So I
Right.
watch all of that, and I think, when I started '01, North Carolina A&T State University, Aggie Pride. Shout out to all my Aggies and HBCUs. Um, I saw that songwriting was it. Like that's where you made the money. It was all about being a part of like creating the song, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I spent the first 10 years like that's my focus. Let me get people to sing my records, submit it, all of that type of stuff. In 2009, I heard God speak to me, tell me that like you have something to say. I want you to be an artist. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. But I was obedient.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once I decided to be an artist, I think that maybe is when I don't necessarily say epiphany, but when it unlocked to say, hey, I'm not just an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm Jastin Artis. Y'all see the wordplay on that, but I'm
Right.
not
Right.
just
Right.
an
Right.
artist.
Right.
And I think slowly but surely it was like, all right, well, let me figure out who I am as an artist. Let me know my voice. Like I'm not trying to
Mm-hmm.
be all these great folks that I listen to and grew up listening to. I need to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think again, as you develop, you go on to the next thing. And I think by the time 2019 came, I had lost my job at the time. I was working, I'm an English background.
Mm-hmm.
I was working, it was like an editor role and just signed a new contract. Was about to have my second child with my then girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
and then lost both. like
Mm.
just out of nowhere. And that I think definitely was a catalyst of like, I got to maximize on all the stuff that I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think I wouldn't say it was an epiphany per se to just being an entrepreneur and I'm a business
Mm-hmm.
because I was already operating like that. You know,
Right, right,
I'm
right.
doing my gig like last 15 years. I'm the one that booked. If you see the list of where I've been, I'm the one that
Mm-hmm.
booked that.
Right.
Even though I know they say, it's better to have somebody represent you,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't happen for me most often, or it didn't last long,
Right.
right? So I'm already operating in these ways, but I think in 2019, man, it really was like I gotta maximize on all I can do. I'm a producer, I'm a writer, I'm an engineer, I'm an A&R. And again, I'm still growing on all these areas, but I put in my hours. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Right, right, right.
1,000 hours. I'm still putting in,
Right.
right? Um, and so I think at that point, it really I wasn't getting these jobs. I'm educated. I got 2 degrees. I thought I was only gonna have one. Ended up getting a master's
Mm-hmm.
at Full Sail for Entertainment Business. So I was like,
Okay.
I got the credentials now to add to what I've been doing on my own for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't happening. And so I just said, all right, bump it. Like, let's go. I can't wait for somebody to give me something that I can create myself. And I think that mindset too was early on back at T.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Being in North Carolina, not having the opportunities, excuse me. Um, I had to create my own opportunities.
There you go.
So I was as a writer, like even before like being a social media manager or
Mm-hmm.
content writer and all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I was putting myself in position to do that because I
Right.
already saw where things were
Where
going. Like I watched
exactly.
social media go
Mm-hmm.
from like, oh, we don't need this or this is just personal to companies are like one by one. Like I'm talking about like big folk, one
Mm-hmm.
by one, they adding it and they're seeing the benefit of it. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's like if you don't have it on social media, you crazy, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
I was creating those opportunities as a writer just so I could gain more experience. And it was like, I'm not going to wait for somebody to give me this job. I just
Mm-hmm.
do it myself. Same thing as an A&R. I would find artists that I enjoyed and was like, yo, let me help you get to the next level. So
Mm-hmm.
I think again, I've been actively just doing the work of a business
Mm-hmm.
to some degree, maybe not even knowing it fully,
Right.
but at least enough. And so when 2019 came, I said, all right, let's go. We're gonna maximize on all these areas, provide these services. And then once COVID came, I was like, welcome to my world, because I was already working from home,
Mm-hmm.
getting pretty used to it. Again, I know, shout out to everybody that, may have lost someone or has had COVID and those things, because I know it was rough. But I
Yeah.
also see the positive that came from it because a lot of people, including myself, either finally started to take themselves seriously as a business, no matter what industry or what your product is, um, or you went harder. And I think the pandemic made me go harder. And of
Yeah.
course, it's evolved in things, but now that's what I say, man, is creators are leaders. You don't have to wait, so to speak, until you making the money or
Mm-hmm.
getting that big deal, which I'm sure that's something we'll probably talk about because I think is win a new day. You don't need a
Right.
deal. I
Right.
respect if you want it, and
Mm-hmm.
if you do eventually get it, great. But you don't need it, is what I'm saying. You need a team. You need a people like myself, like you,
Right.
who have experience, who know music, that is educated, connected, but also willing
Mm-hmm.
to learn, willing to add new experiences into the fold to help you get to the next place.
Right.
And so for me, I'm like, I got merch. We gotta put the link up.
Mm-hmm.
I got merch
Right.
just
I'm
created
gonna
from
I'm gonna put all
R&B.
your
Like
links and
that's
everything
how,
up on this.
yeah, that's how serious and passionate I am, bro. Because
Mm-hmm.
to your point, and I'll end here is where I'm just tired of artists. It's kind of honestly, it's like settling, right?
Exactly. It is.
It's like you just wanna record. You just want to be in the studio
Mm-hmm.
and make the song like you said earlier, you want to get the bag. You want, I want 1 million fans. But bro, you don't know how to handle none of this.
They don't want to do the
Like,
work. I
like
think
what? I don't understand. I think it's the work, but it's also
Mhm.
like the concept of, well, who gonna do all this for you? Like,
Right.
are you gonna like, I don't know. It just seems like as much as they know the creative side and doing the work, and that's
Hmm.
probably a whole nother conversation because some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
to do the work in even in the studio, right?
Right. Right.
But
Right.
then it's like, okay, well, I want this money, but you don't have a business checking account. Or you're not even, however you do it, you're not even separating your money.
Right.
Or you want all these royalties, but you're not signing up with a PRO, don't even know what a PRO is,
Right.
right? It's like all these different things.
It's
It should be like, ah,
there are so many things that need to be done once you start releasing music to monetize
Mhm.
your product that so many artists don't even realize.
Yep.
And with all the information available on the internet from other professionals, you, me, and the like, there's still so many people willfully ignorant about all of the
Yep.
processes,
Yep.
and that's why I say, and I use that term a lot lately, willfully ignorant,
Yeah, I
because
like that.
you can't say you don't know anymore. You
Right.
just
You
don't want to know.
cannot.
You cannot
That's
say
very
you don't
true.
know anymore. If
That's
you
very
seek the
true.
information, you will find it. But they're
Yep.
not seeking the information. And a lot of times when you try to explain the information, they're not ready to receive the information.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
why
that's a big one.
and that's my feeling why I say if you're not looking for it, you're not willing to receive it, then you don't really want it. You're just pretending. You're acting like you want it. You don't
Come
want it.
on.
You want
Come on.
somebody to pick you up like a baby, give you a bag of money, and do everything for you and make you a
Spoon
star.
fed.
But you
Yep.
don't want to do the
Yep.
work, go through the process. It's just like you had to do the work to recover from your health and your surgery. You
Yep.
had to do the work
Yep.
to fix your mind. You got to do the
Yep.
work to grow your business.
Yep.
Everybody's settling, like you said, on this myth and this dream of I'm going to do this. I'm just that good. But they don't want to do the actual work behind the scenes that a lot of successful indie artists are doing. A lot of indie artists are making more money than major label artists.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
because you and I can't prove that, we're not pocket watching and showing that off.
Hmm. Hmm.
They can't hear that because of
Yep.
perception. So
Yep.
that would be the negative side of the social media that's
Yep.
necessary to elevate your business in this day and age.
Right. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that because I'm gonna stop saying it now, but I usually be like that dude is just lazy, bro.
It,
But
but it's there
yeah,
is what I was gonna say is that you are speaking truth. You're really preaching. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
It's not Sunday, y'all, but he preaching. Okay.
appreciate
The
it.
the idea that I understand the technology and how easy it is to create
Hmm.
anything. Right. We'll stick with music though. I understand it, man, but I just don't get, like you said, how people are willing, what'd you say?
Willfully ignorant.
Willfully ignorant
Hmm.
and not seeking, like, okay, if, like, I know these two things, right? If I make music and I put it out, I have the potential to make money, whether
Hmm.
it's streams or you still selling, CDs, whatever the case is. You know that part. So why isn't there this will,
Hmm.
if you don't know, to learn, to find people like myself and you
Hmm.
to advance or to create this system that will handle
Hmm.
when you are making money, right? Because it ain't guaranteed. Let's be real about that, first of
Right,
all,
right,
right?
right, right.
But I'm of the mindset, that look, if I'm 100% in, 100% out type of person, I really don't do just a little bit
Hmm.
halfway,
Right,
right? So
right.
if I'm doing this and I'm committing to it, then I'm expecting money will be made, right?
Exactly,
Now we know
exactly.
as an entrepreneur, no matter if you're doing full time, half, whatever, that it's gonna be some ups and downs,
Right,
right?
100% all the
But
time.
you can't get the money if you're not set up. And I think that's the part that drives me crazy is you say you want all these things, but you're not even set up to have them. And to
Hmm.
your point, you're not even seeking that you need that.
Right,
Being
right.
multi-talented, as a hip hop artist and then an A&R coach, I can speak both languages. I
Hmm.
understand the business side and the numbers and all this other stuff, which again, I'm not that type of A&R. Like, yes, they play a role, but I want to deal. I want to find the diamond in the roughs, bro.
Right, right.
Those are the type of people that I want to find. But most importantly, people that are willing to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Because if like my mom used to say, shout her out, I can't want it for you, and then I can't do it. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it for you, right? And
Right.
to your
Right.
point, I've seen a lot of people, like I'm just trying to get a hit record, quote unquote, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get a viral post. Okay, that's cool. But what happens when you do? Now what? Are you thinking about that? Are you set up for your monies? On IG, Facebook, and all this, you gotta set all that stuff up. So it
Right.
can,
You do.
if
You
you don't
do.
even have that, then bro, like what we talking about? Like, and I speak from this place
Mm-hmm.
because I too have been there when I wasn't set up appropriately, right? And I
Right.
think
Right.
there's a little grace for that, Gino, where it's like, oh, you say you want to do music and you just finding your way.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to figure out how to write or play or put it all together. Most of us don't have the setup when we start that is you know you just come in and do whatever and have the right equipment, like
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff you see, bruh. I just got this problem in the
Yeah.
last 5 years,
I get
and I've
it.
been
I
doing this
get
over
it.
20. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
So it's like this part of, yeah, y'all take your time, figure out one thing at a time. But when you really talking about, hey, I want to be, because that's what I hear all the time. I want to be the next Taylor Swift. I want to be the next, Kendrick, or trying to think of some of everybody. The next Incubus, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
my taste is pretty eclectic, y'all.
Hey, mine too,
But
brother.
I want to be that. But you're not doing this other side. It hurts so much. But then I think I'll end here because like this could go on for days, man.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you tell them, because I think you kind of mentioned it or alluded to it, when you tell them like, hey, so do you have such and such? Nah, I'm just trying to get these fans, man. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to get this bag. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you can do that, but guess what? You got to set your things up. So be sure to do that, bruh. Some get an attitude,
Mm-hmm.
some don't even do it, and then people are complaining why they not getting paid. And I like get it. I
Mm-hmm.
know about streams and all this other stuff, but bro, there are ways to make money, but if you are not set up, if you're not looking for the right people to help you, or you catch an attitude, or you in your
Mm-hmm.
emotions or your feelings, I don't know whatever they saying now. Like I'm at that age now, like I don't know what they
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
but
They and they
you can't
feelings.
you
We're
can't
gonna
move
we're gonna
you
go with that.
yeah you can't move forward and maximize on the talent that you have, because
Mm-hmm.
there's truth. What is it? 10% talent, 90% worth ethic,
Yep.
bruh. I think every year I understand more and more what that means.
Yeah, like I think I mentioned that to you when we first talked. I said
Yep.
I don't sign talent. I sign mentality.
Mentalities. Yep.
Your mind state has to be right. You have to be a worker.
Yep.
There's so many ways to grind this music out and grow.
Yep. Yep.
And I just you talk about things when you hear people talk about finance. You hear people talk about things like multiple streams of income.
Mhm.
I've always had a philosophy of I need at least 7 streams of income, even if number 7 is only bringing in a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still number
Yeah.
7.
Yep. Yep.
And I've got a bunch of streams coming in, not music streams, but different streams of income, and they
Yeah.
just trickle in. But that's
Yep.
because I'm set up for it.
Yep.
That would include things like you mentioned earlier, like your social media, like the YouTube should be monetized, your Facebook,
Mhm.
any meta,
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook should be
Yep.
monetized. If you can monetize your TikTok and other platforms that you may be on, Twitch, if you're streamers, whatever, that all needs to be set up, like you said. And for example, when I post on social media, even if it's a personal post, I tack a track that I'm associated with
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
that, because that counts as a stream
Yep. Yep.
coming through Facebook or IG or whatever the case may be. And just that simple little thing brings in some money every month.
Mhm.
Just doing that.
Yep.
And then there's so many other little ways, and that goes from back end, from your PRO, your performance rights agencies. You got the MLC. I mean, it's so many,
Yep.
Solemn
Yep.
Trust, all the
Yep.
different ones that you want to register with, and then
Mhm.
also people are missing out on performance royalties
Yep.
when they're
That's
performing their
one I,
songs that are
bruh.
recording.
That's one I just learned.
Yeah.
mm, 6, 8 years ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, like most of us, the songs you register that go out for broadcasting, streaming,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, that counted. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh no, it's a whole nother process. You gotta,
Right.
and there's a time limit on that joint, so
Mm-hmm.
you can't even go back. Like I can't. I've been performing for 15 years, but I can't go back all the way. You know what I'm saying? To be like,
Yeah.
hey, this song was, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and those are the things that in just recent years I'm finding. I have to ask that question: why am I doing this? What's the reason? What's the purpose behind why I'm doing this? Right? And I understand my purpose now really has nothing to do with music. Music is just
Mm-hmm.
a vehicle. That's what
We
God
talked
used to
about
get me
that.
into it. Yeah.
That's what I say too,
And
man. I say my music is just the entry point. That's just the
yep,
introduction.
yep. But and I think every artist has to figure this out. But for me, as much as I love creating and see the power and the spirituality in it, it's really about connection. It's really
Yes.
about getting to know people
Mm-hmm.
that I made the record with, or sharing the
Mm-hmm.
things that I know, and people just so appreciative of what they've
Right.
learned, or like,
Right.
oh Jay, I didn't know you could, and I'm saying, I'm like, bro, I didn't know you could do that to make this. Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
bet. Or being in positions now where I'm sharing my story on these platforms outside of, my own ecosystem. Um, but the rabbit hole goes deep, and I think you have to figure out how deep you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, then you got to find the people that know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when, like you said earlier, man, come on. If I, boy, even if my son is 12, man, even if I was 12 right now, I'd be killing the game. Okay.
We talked about
Because
that too.
there's just so
Yeah.
much. And granted, like, yes, we
Mm-hmm.
know the impacts and implications if you're not doing things correctly. Well, I'm talking about the positive aspects of my first job as a teen could be Ubering,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just
Yeah.
learned how to drive. I could imagine, man, I would want to do that when I turn 16 rather than being
Mm-hmm.
a bagger at the grocery store.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So there's just so much access. But I think also the challenge, is people balancing that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I even have a challenge with that, and I'm an English major, so I'm all about research. I'm all about,
Mm-hmm.
even though I have times I hate reading, but I gotta read. I'm blessed to read, right? But having all this information, as soon as you wake up,
Mm-hmm.
you got to know how to balance it. You got to know how much you can intake. You got to know when to take breaks, like all of these things. But the information is still there.
Yes.
And with AI, and I'm definitely using it. It's changing my life. I'll be honest. It is
Mm-hmm.
changing my life, right?
Yes.
But I've always seen it as a tool. Once I finally took that step, I said, okay, how can I use this to better what I'm doing, especially like with my health? That's been a
Mm-hmm.
big question over the last few years because I've lost a lot of just desire, love for what I do and how I do it
Mm-hmm.
because I'm dealing with pain every day or I'm dealing with discomfort or, I
Mm-hmm.
have to be redirected. I have to wake up literally thinking about my health every ounce of the day
Mm-hmm.
instead of, back in the day when you're young, it's just like, oh, you don't feel nothing until you feel something, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's different, but these things I think put you in a different realm now where it's okay if you don't, as they say, have it all together. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
It is okay.
But if you're not willing to recognize that you don't know, or you rather not,
Mm-hmm.
know all of this stuff, then you gotta find the people and pay
Yes.
y'all, the people.
Yes.
And that doesn't always, let's be real, that doesn't always have to be money because relationships are extremely
Relationships,
valuable.
bartering,
So exactly.
service for
Percentages,
service. Yeah.
service for service. Like I've done it all,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, it still feels like I'm getting paid $1 million. Even when I
Yes.
do something for free, I know I'm doing it for free for a reason, for a purpose,
Right. It's an
right?
investment. That's what I
And
call
it's
it.
an investment. It's an investment that I know is gonna come back. Have a return on it,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's immediate or some years later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting that investment or dropping that seed in there, and I think that's where people now are struggling with, but I feel that's where I solve the challenges by being an A&R coach or doing
Mm-hmm.
consulting or shoot. I mean, I think honestly, if you work with me or collab in whatever fashion, I feel like I have this cool way of teaching without recognizing that I'm teaching,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right? Um, and I think that's pretty dope because people like just pick up on it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just naturally being me. I'm not like, well, you should do,
Right.
or
Right.
have you
Right.
thought about? or this is what I do.
It's like your
So
consultation is more so like it's a collaboration.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes, yep. That's exactly how I work.
It's a skillful way to challenge the person to rise to the occasion,
Yep,
and offering that guidance. You know what I mean?
yep. But they got to be open, man. Like you said, they got to be
I
open
you just read my thoughts, bro.
because if they can't,
I was just about to say, but they have to be ready to receive it. I used to try to force my knowledge on the people,
yeah.
not because I think I'm right, not because
Hmm.
I wanted
Hmm.
to be praised and worshiped. It's
Yep.
just because at heart I like to help people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And whether that's paid for my business expertise or whether that's working with my sober hustle club through my give back with that or anything I just do. I'm just of service, especially
Yep.
now in my life where I'm at now. But if somebody's not ready to receive it, man, it's wasted energy. You can say your piece and you have to walk away. And of course that sounds cliche, but
Wasted
lately,
energy.
yeah,
Mm.
lately what I've been doing for especially for 2025 because it's been a very, very uplifting year. And this adds to it, brother. I am actually truly, truly great to know you and have these conversations with you. And we're going to build something together. We don't know what it is
Same.
yet, but we're
Yeah.
going to build
Yeah.
something together.
Same.
Even if it's just a song or something,
Yep.
bro. Beyond this
Yep.
podcast, we're going to build something. But it's like I was causing myself anxiety because even when people would come to me for advice, even when people were paying me for advice, it was still hard for them to get to understand the reason behind the advice. So I had to become like a
Mm.
counselor in certain ways. One of my business partners says I manage personalities well. Sometimes, sometimes, but
Yeah.
also what I had to do, and I wanted to preface what you were saying, piggyback what you were saying, when they don't want to receive it. What I've learned to do is sort of pray for discernment and knowing, is this the best use of my time?
Mm.
And that's been a perpetual question for me with every new endeavor, every new encounter, and as you say, every new connection. Is this the best use of my time? And I have to have that spark of, yes, this is worth your investment of your time.
Yep.
Even if that means no money, it's an investment of my time
Boy.
because it's going to come back. And I found before I had my personal near death experience in 2020, not because of COVID, as I mentioned to you, I had a liver transplant. The people that listen to me and watch me know that in 2020. But since that, I've been rebuilding myself and reframing myself. And, that's been physical therapy, that's been mental health therapy. I mentioned to you before, I struggled with alcohol in the past. I've overcome all of that stuff and even more, like
Awesome.
yourself. But thank you, man. But
Yeah.
I've learned not to sit and dwell and fester on the things that I cannot change. You know what I'm saying? Not to shout out AA, but the Serenity Prayer.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Things accept the
it's
things that
powerful
I
prayer,
cannot
man.
change. Yeah,
Yep.
not to accept the things I cannot change. You just keep doing the work. Like I mentioned to you when we spoke last week. God told me to just keep your head down, son, and just do the work. I got everything else on the back end. It's all
Yep.
coming. So I look
Yep.
at everything like that. I look at this interaction as an investment. It's an investment in you. You're giving an investment in me. We're investing in each other. Even with this time that we're sharing this information, and anybody that listens to this is going to get something from this,
That's right.
whether that be about your music, about what you offer, you as a person, and just some insight and inspiration. And that's what I've become comfortable with. It's just being of service and being an inspiration. We can't touch everybody the way that we want to at the time we think they need it. All we can do is provide some
Ooh, that's
advice,
deep.
step back, and just keep it moving.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Just keep it
Uh-huh.
moving. And those that were meant to be reunioned on that trail, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But you, like you
Yep.
said earlier, it's okay.
Yep.
Some leaves fall off the tree.
That's right.
Everything's not deeply rooted.
That's right.
Like my grandma used to say, seasons and reasons.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I want to get back to you,
Nah,
bro.
I love it. I look, shout out my twin sis, but I think I found my twin brother
Yeah.
because everything you saying, man, is just on point for what I've experienced and then
Hmm.
what I want to provide to those that I work with because I can't work with everyone. I can't, as you said, put energy into folks that don't align with mine. And I've known that since I was a producer, man.
Hmm.
The quick story, I remember when I finally, understood what I do
Hmm.
well, in terms of like my hip hop renaissance genre where it's about substance, it's raw. Obviously,
Hmm.
because I play a guitar, have band background, composition and instrumentation is hugely important in my music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if I'm on a keyboard, even though like I love hip hop, I love sampling in terms of just the technique, but that's an area I'm weak in because I
Gotcha.
want to create music that people sample. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's always been my
Right.
mindset. And so
You want the next generation to be coming back to your stuff.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And using that.
You
And
just
so it's
want you
just
just want that residual money later. I know what you're doing.
oh yeah, that too. Absolutely. You know, come on, that's the business side of it, right? Like the creativity, it is what it is, but
Absolutely.
the business is I
Yeah.
understood that early too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah.
But
It's the catalog, man. It's the
yeah,
catalog.
exactly, exactly. And
Yeah.
so I think I lost track where I was about to land. That fibro fog is serious. But
Mm-hmm.
I just again everything that you're saying, I've experienced and had to figure out. Honestly, I think it comes down to what you deem as success. Yes, I
Boom.
want to make money to take care of myself and my family and to do things. And like I recently realized that I've been settling a lot in my
Mm-hmm.
life because you know I'm very humble. Like you said, I understand the work. You know, I was blessed to be raised and see my mom like love working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take pride in what you do. You know, I've done a whole lot of type of jobs and I took pride in it. I don't care if I was cleaning the bathroom, grabbing carts, or I
Mm-hmm.
was a server, or I was an editor on a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I took pride in it, and I think, especially like in a time we're in now, where there is so much darkness, and that's why I created my album, one and two, Love in Darkness. You can
Mm-hmm.
say Light in Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out what success means to you because um, understanding the joy regardless of how much money is in your
Mm-hmm.
account, who's beside you in your bed. Um, you know, if you can get into that club for the
Mm-hmm.
VIP or whatever the heck, you know, is important to folk. Um, you gotta have that joy. And I early on, bro, I remember I said, God, you gave me this gift that I just found out about,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna be committed to it. But I said, don't give it to me early. Cause I want to last in this thing. Like I've watched the
Right.
greats growing up, right? Didn't even know I wanted to do music, but I watched the greats growing
Mm-hmm.
up, man. I want to be like that. I want to have a career 50 plus years,
Right.
still
Right.
singing or doing whatever at 70.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And people loving it and still got it. Okay, like let's be real about it. Like still
Mm-hmm.
got it, right? And I think early on, bro, I realized that like as you were saying, like there's so much that you can do, and so that'll evolve as you get older,
Mm-hmm.
but don't give it to me early when I'm
Mm-hmm.
not ready to handle it. And so I think this whole concept of being an entrepreneur, maximizing on your potential, I think that was already ingrained in me without knowing
Mm-hmm.
that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've grown and seek the information and sought out people, it was like I finally knew where to put it. But I still got to do check-ins, man. I still got to be like, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Especially because when the money don't come, or you in this studio and you like, bro, I don't know what the heck I'm making. Like, what does brief say? Or,
Right.
you know, should I
Right.
put out a next my 13th project or whatever? Like, you gonna have those moments, and I call those like quit feeling moments, right? Like it's just a feeling, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't quit. You might have to redirect yourself. You might have to reevaluate what is important right
Mm-hmm.
now to Jastin in 2025 at 42. What's important? And I think, especially when you're dealing with chronic health and things or anything personal that
Mm-hmm.
really hit you, um, it makes you do that. Like I think you're a little more forced to
Mm-hmm.
do it, which is necessary, I think. And I think that's why it's a good, healthy thing to do in general, year after year, you know, quarter after quarter, however you want to do it, to
Mm-hmm.
reassess what is my success right now, right? Like, yeah, I have a annual goal to make this, but it's about connections. It's about helping the right people.
Mm-hmm.
I look back now and I'm like, dude, I've been helping people across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God to the internet and video calling and all this
Right.
stuff.
Right. Right.
But people that don't even know me in terms of like grabbing and touching me, like, hey, Jastin, I know you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I saw you at a show or I saw you in the grocery store, whatever. I want to learn from this dude
Mm-hmm.
in a whole nother language, bro. I want to learn from
That's
this
dope.
dude.
That's dope.
Like that to me, man. Shout out to all the people I've been working with. I love y'all.
Shout them out. Shout them out.
The relationships I've been building, man. I'm telling you, like I say it in this new sync record. What was the name of it? I called it Grammys
Hmm.
because the whole idea of winning a Grammy, obviously, that's everybody's goal, right? But there's more things to life than awards, accolades, and all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to do it because it's like I earned it, deserving of it, whatever, not
Hmm.
chasing it,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so the song just talks about family, and sometimes family is you can pick them, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's the joy that I'm feeling a lot of times when I'm doing these consultations or I'm mentoring folks that don't live nowhere near me. Times
Hmm.
though, I mean, bro, on my phone, I got the world clock of all
Right.
these places because I got to know,
Yeah.
just
I've
it
got
started
my
with just
top five.
LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I got like I think I got I'm up to 10 now because
I
it's
think
getting kind of crazy.
I've got my top five, and I've got two just as two separate little projects I'm working on. But I keep my top five in the same way, my time zones and everything, so I know I
So
can deal
you,
with those clients on the clock. Yeah,
bro,
twenty four
it's a
seven.
it's a blessing to be
Yeah,
able to say that
it is.
regardless of how much I'm getting paid or the project doesn't go anywhere or where we hope, right?
Hmm.
But just again, I love doing the work. I love seeing that develop.
Hmm.
And I think that's another aspect that especially my new coaching program, I'm hoping that I really nailed that because that's the aspect that I think a lot of artists and creators in general
Hmm.
aren't thinking about. It's I just want the money. I just want. And it's like, okay, cool, I get you, but again, how are we doing all of this? And is that most important right now? And money
It's
comes and goes, right? Like, so
it
what
go
you doing when you ain't got no money?
yeah, it goes back to what we were saying
So
earlier. They don't have a business plan.
yeah, that yeah
They don't have a
yeah.
business plan.
Even a thought. Look, they don't even got a thought, man.
Right. It's
Like they
it's
can't
you
even see.
it's the one of the best things that happened to me in the last couple of months is starting to work with a new artist who already had a roadmap.
Okay,
I didn't have to build the roadmap from
yeah,
scratch.
I love that.
Me and my team just got to drop in and help flesh that roadmap out and
Mhm.
strategically line everything up. It's beautiful. But most artists don't know what they want other
Yeah,
than fame and fortune.
yep,
Um,
yep.
but again, like you said, we can talk about that all day.
Man,
Let's segue because you did mention it. Let's segue.
I love all my haters. This isn't just fashion, it's a movement. At Retired Rockstar, we turn hate into fuel, proof you're living loud and staying legendary. Featured here is musician Gino Black, rocking the I Love All My Haters limited drop and the G-Shades collection. Tap in and join the movement at retiredrockstarbrand.com. For a limited time, all trucker hats 25% off, and all OG logo tees are just $19.99. Retired rock star. Live loud. Stay legendary.
I got a chance to tap into Love and Darkness 2. I was going backwards.
yes.
I didn't get the
Okay.
Love
Yep.
and Darkness 1. Tell me about Love and Darkness as a whole, 1 and 2. Tell us about what
Yeah.
that project is. Because I think that's
Um.
the project you mentioned got a little personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I believe everything is, but it took me a step further in how do you love when you in a dark place? And like I said earlier, you could switch out love for light.
Hmm.
Um, but how do you handle just loving yourself? Handling yourself when everything is just not what you wanted, what you
Hmm.
thought. And so you have obviously the world
Hmm.
of things that are going on, and then you have your personal world of
Right.
what's going on. And looking back, man, I felt like I've always tried to do my best. And I
Hmm.
guess I did. And now it's like that's what I do is love in darkness, right? And that's something like that for me is oftentimes when I'm having like my worst health days, I try to reach out to somebody who I know probably got it worse than me because of what, their conditions are, or
Mm-hmm.
um if last time, maybe let's say I talked to you 2 weeks from now, you telling me something's about to drop and
Mm-hmm.
you're really excited about it. I'm like, Gino, hey man, what's up? Like, how did it go? I ain't get to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I try to focus on someone else and help them even when I'm at my worst,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, you kind of, well, maybe you said it in the other interviews, but that I listened to, of just reassessing and reflecting about yourself and what's going on, and
Mm-hmm.
um, loving on yourself in the best way possible, right? And giving yourself grace and really understanding these traumas that go back from childhood. I mean, these the concept of this project was so much for me because I know I'm not the only one that's going through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to seem like I'm always the guy that always got a whole lot going on. And I mean, like, challenges up like the wazoo. And I think people look at me like, man, he always handling stuff. So he good.
We
Like,
are
he
brothers.
fine.
We are
You know what I'm
brothers.
saying? And I'd be like, bro, if you knew what the heck was going on, like, I understand
they have
everybody
no
can't.
idea, bro. They have
Yeah,
no
like they
idea.
really have no idea. And but at the same time, I'm also like, man, I have no idea what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the joy of this project. And I tried to write about topics that obviously were personal to me, but
Mm-hmm.
still broad enough for people to put themselves in it. Right.
Yes.
You may not deal with fibromyalgia. You may not deal with GI conditions. You may not deal with being alienated from your child. You may not deal with losing jobs like crazy that has nothing to do with your work, your education, your personality, and who
Mm-hmm.
you are. Right. You may not deal with being a minority in America. You may not deal with, I don't know, life-threatening surgeries. Like, these are all things that I have been through, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I still wake up and thank the Lord. Like, all right, let's put a smile on my face. Let me cut up with my wife and see her laugh because I love hearing her laugh,
Mm-hmm.
right? How can I help somebody today? Like, all of those things, like, is love, man. And I think, like, a lot of my projects, God really does give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the concept, right?
Right.
I'm the conceptual guy. So he gives me the concept. And I think initially more on like the project, just coming out of time of, first divorce,
Mm-hmm.
drama, just a lot. And it's like part of, like, I just know when I'm over it and
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving forward. But then how's this still affecting me? How can I see how this would affect somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
Um, So I started writing all these songs, and before you know it, I had like 20 some songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an album guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I listen to albums, okay? Like,
Right.
this whole single era, like, I hate it. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
dope. But it's like when I got one song to listen to and I can't go to a whole nother project to like get the vibe and the concept,
Mm-hmm.
and it's some other song that's a whole different vibe. I just like, man, I can't. So for me, I make albums. I
Mm-hmm.
made like
A
20
body of
songs or
work.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was working with an intern, shout out Danielle. And she suggested, like, Jay, like, this is great. She was like, I love it. But she was like, it's too much. Let's cut it in half so
Mm-hmm.
give the people less to digest.
Yes.
Right. And I said, okay, again, listening to my team. Okay, this ain't got nothing to do with how much I've done, all of this. She's
Mm-hmm.
younger than me. She's educated. She was still in school at the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is what she told me. This is what I did, right? Thought it was a great idea. I understood it. And so that's where I got, one and then twos to digest. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I think they all are very much cohesive. But I believe I heard somebody tell me one was more like black centric love, and like two maybe
Mm-hmm.
was more, I ain't gonna say like lovey dovey, but it was more spiritual.
It
It's kind of
sounded.
how you
It's.
can look
I
at
would
it
agree
too.
with that.
So,
I would agree with that from what I heard of part two.
yeah.
When you first started to conceptualize it, do you was that to come out of the dark place, or was that just you getting the words to
Oh,
express?
I think a little bit of both,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a reflective person, so I believe a lot of things comes in levels. and you just got to be sure to check in. I'm the type of person, like, I'm trying to reach these checkpoints, you know, and even when you're, because I have a song on there called Friends, and I'm just talking about, hey man, you gotta know when to cut people off. Like,
Mm-hmm.
love them from a distance. I felt
Which
like in
is
a lot
what
of
we
my,
just talked about.
yep, I
Yeah.
felt like in a lot of my relationships, like I wasn't being valued like I was valuing
Mm-hmm.
everyone else, even despite what I'm going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so again, reflecting and revaluing, and it's like, okay, hmm. And I'm always like, I never like think something and then just do it. It's like, well, let me have a conversation, even whether it's with myself, which oftentimes it is, and then to that, and then to that person, right?
Right.
And so I get the information I need to make the decisions. And so I think at the time, like God really was giving this to me. It's like I'm healing and figuring out certain things currently, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm also still reflecting like how that connects with things that's happened to me, in
Mm-hmm.
the past, right? And then while still thinking about the people who listen to it, am I conveying a message, though personal, that they can get these solutions to apply to their lives? Again, like
Mm-hmm.
you said, like we've been through some very, very similar things. Um, but though not the same thing, the principles, what
Mm-hmm.
we've learned, how we move, is all the same.
It's
And so
it's
I think I
some
tackled both.
yeah, some humbling stuff.
Yeah.
Some humbling
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Do you feel though releasing that music has helped you mentally?
Oh, absolutely. You know what's crazy? It came out in 21, Love and
In
Darkness one came out in
2021.
2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is how God and I is like we tight. He probably gave me the concept. My last project I think was 2018, the Separation album.
Mm-hmm.
He probably gave that to me shortly after that. Like after that album came out. And I think it was like November.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, because of health and things, I wasn't as active in putting out my releases in terms of projects.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sitting on it for a while. And so I understand God always gives me this power, the strength of knowing time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's always the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've progressed into understanding God's time versus man's time in like the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like a perfect example of I had been sitting on this project for a while and I'm like, man, I gotta get it out, I gotta get out. And I
Mm-hmm.
just couldn't move like I usually move. But when it came out, I mean, it's 1 year post-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
This is the perfect project people need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And my music is not about what I understand about my music. It's not about just the vibe, as they say. Um, I can talk about the vibe, I can talk about the emotion, but I gotta leave you with solutions.
Right, right.
Like I'm a problem solver. Like I
Mm-hmm.
gotta give you solutions. And that's part being a man, but that's me. I'm all about solutions. So in my music, though I'm understanding how to create songs that it's just about the vibe, but I know me.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have substance. I don't care if it's instrumental or
Right.
not, right? But in a time where people are still trying to figure out how to live,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is something that affected us all.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing was we are in this darkness and we got to figure out how to love ourselves, the people around us, and whatever that means, we got to figure out how to change it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so writing about songs of like Wonder Woman, recognizing my women, especially black women,
Mm-hmm.
um, or this black skin, given all the stuff that was happening
Right, right.
during that time. But let's be real, this been happening for years,
Ever,
hundreds
ever,
of years,
ever.
right? So let me talk about that. Being proud of being black in
Mm-hmm.
America.
Right.
Trying to think, Wright brothers, understanding
Mm-hmm.
the connection that I had to my brothers, but at the same time, bruh, if you baggage, I can't go up to where I need to go to if
That's
you
right.
baggage. I gotta cut you loose. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta cut it loose, whatever that is, right? So
On,
yeah, those
on,
are
on,
just all those
on,
ideas that came to me for that, man.
Cool. Not. I'm sorry to cut you off, man. But what
Yeah,
you
no, you
said there,
good.
like the cutoff. I find that a lot of people. You tell me if you agree or disagree. I find that a lot of people, when they think about, you say things like that, you're talking about cutting people off because they become liabilities, as
Yeah.
opposed to assets. As you say, baggage.
Mhm.
People, well, excuse me. In my world, I run into a decent percentage of people that think there has to be some event or some argument or some explosion to cut people off. There
That's
doesn't.
true.
There
Yep.
doesn't.
Yep.
That is just the point where you say, this is as far as we go.
Hmm.
I love you, I respect you, but I'm going to
Hmm.
keep doing this and I need you to step away,
Yep.
or a lot of times they fall away.
Yep.
But it doesn't have to mean discord in terms of ending friendships, ruining relationships. And a lot of times it's best to separate before it ruins the
Exactly.
original relationship
Yep.
anyway. But
Yep.
I see a lot of people get caught up in this loyalty by default, and
Yes.
they want to stick with people who aren't growing with them.
Yeah. Ooh.
I've always been kind of sort of I'm going to do it regardless. I don't care. Similar to what
Mhm.
you were saying earlier, it's like it's always been in me to build my own table. I never wanted to sit at anybody else's table.
Mhm.
I'll build my table and we can push our tables together.
Together.
You know what I'm saying? And make a brunch
Yep.
out of the deal.
Yep.
But I don't need your table. I
Yep.
got my own table.
Yep.
And I think that so many people get caught up in making a lot of things adversarial when they don't have to be. I think you can part relationships as friends, and that could be any situation. I'm not saying that,
Yep.
if you're divorcing your ex-wife or your ex-husband and y'all supposed to be still be friends and one of y'all tried to do some harm to each other. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm
Absolutely.
saying that you and somebody have been working together for so long, and then eventually it comes a time where they are not willing to go any further, or as we said earlier, they're not willing to do the additional work that's required
Yep.
to achieve said goals.
Yep.
You got to keep going,
Yep.
and it's okay if they fall off.
It is. Oh,
but uh,
y'all. It
but
is okay.
it is okay. And a lot of times those people try to make up something to happen, to make something happen. You know how, used to those
Mhm.
stories about marriages where the husband starts an argument just so he can leave the house and go
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
what he wants to do out in the street or whatever. People do that in business too, especially in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
music business. When they
Yeah.
know they can't live up to the standard, instead of bowing out gracefully, they create a
Yep.
problem and create this dissension. That doesn't have to be.
Yep.
You can part ways and still be cool with somebody and salute, wish you the
Absolutely.
best and keep it moving. I just wanted to touch on that real quick, man, because I think a lot of people, when we talk about cutting people off, it's like, yeah, I cut that. So, da, 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 da. It don't have to be like that.
Yeah. It really. I echo everything you said, and I asked y'all to check out my song "Friends"
Yes.
on Love and Darkness too, because I try to kind of hit on everything you said, and hopefully
Hmm.
a big thing about music is give you food for thought,
Yes.
because it doesn't. Unfortunately, I've had to um cut people off, family, whatever. Like
Hmm.
if yeah, like I think to your point, for me, in a lot of cutoffs, if you will, that's what it got to. Nothing per se happened,
Hmm.
or I just dislike them. No, I still
Right.
love
Right.
them, wish them the
Right. Right.
best. But I got to a point where I'm starting to reevaluate things, and I can no longer rock this way.
Hmm.
And for me, again, I like to have conversations. I like to share how I feel. So I'm going to my brother or my sister and talking to them about, like, hey, this is where I am. This is what I've reflected on. This is what I've seen. Can you give me some truth to this?
Hmm.
Okay, this is what it was for you. All right, cool, 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 cool. Um, but let's try to do this thing again with these steps that now I'm telling you, these are my needs. This is what
Hmm.
I desire,
Hmm.
right? Even in friendship, you must do this.
Yes.
So we do this, and then I'm still seeing the same stuff. All right, now like this, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing, and I'm 100%. Everybody know me. Back in college at T, bro, I tell the women, hey, I don't want a relationship. This is all I want. This is what I'm about. If you get feelings, you need to let me know. All right, because even if I get feelings, this is not something I need to do. I got to focus on
Mhm.
school, and I'm committed to music, because that's what I used to say. I'm committed to music,
Right.
right? So I let this thing play out. They be like, okay, like it's cool, Jackson. Bruh, 4 weeks go by. I see you showing me girlfriend vibes.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but this relationship
Mm-hmm.
must end because I cannot live up to what it is that you want.
Right.
And I'm not here to deceive you. I'm not here just to play with, like, that's not what I'm about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I use that same logic
Right.
20 plus years later with people that I'm reevaluating, and it's like, yeah, I can no longer do this no more. And so I'm not sure how this may go, but this is where I am. And
Mm-hmm.
some of those relationships, nah, we don't talk like that. I still think about them, still remember birthdays, still remember all this stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand what I need right now.
Right.
Right. And I think, like you said, being so much of a giver, Gino, I've honestly just was thinking and reflecting on this recently. It's like, man, a lot of my life, man, I've given so much of my time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I didn't always have the funds to help people out
Right.
or to be at the weddings or the trips. I didn't.
Right.
Some of that was like, nah, I'm
That's
focused, bro. I'm
that's
focused. And then some
reality,
of it was
bro.
I just
Yeah.
didn't have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I still made sure that I showed up for people, which obviously to me I think is more
Mm-hmm.
valuable than money or spending money or whatever the
Right.
case is.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to a point where it's like, man, not a lot of people doing that, or the same people is not really returning that
It's not
so-called
reciprocate.
favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can see, like, hold up, man, I'm getting more love and reciprocation from strangers.
Bruh, let me stop
Like,
you.
it's like, hold up.
I have a saying, strangers
Oh,
will make you rich.
it's the
Strangers
truth,
will make you
man.
rich.
It's the
And,
truth.
and I will say that's not just rich in cash.
That's
Strangers will
right.
make you rich, bro.
That's right.
But continue. I just had to
Right.
say that.
Yeah,
For
no, I love it. I love it. But I say all that to say, man, that you can and you must. I think I don't care what age you are, you have to evaluate the people around you. Sometimes some people are just they're not gonna be able to go along with you, and it
right.
sucks. Trust me, it
Mm-hmm.
hurts for sure. But you got to keep it moving. You got to understand everyone cannot go with you. And I always say, man, if you yourself or those around you are not growing,
Mm-hmm.
then you dead. Like figuratively, potentially even going down the road of true, not being here.
Yeah.
And so you have to be mindful personally, professionally, like you said, everyone that you meet, connect with, interview
Mm-hmm.
may not be the big, oh, we got a relationship, oh, we make money
Mm-hmm.
together, and then to that point too, which I think is that more valuable is I want people to think of me 5, 10 years, a year from now.
Legacy. You're building
And
a
like,
legacy.
man, I got this big project. You remember Jastin, what's his name? Artis? Like, I need him on this project. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think him, how he works, whatever, I need him on this project.
Right.
And it's probably like the biggest project they ever worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, meanwhile, you see all these posts that the person have done this and that and the third,
Mm-hmm.
and you're sitting back like, oh man, I wish I could have been a part of that. Oh, da, da, da. Yes, there's all of that happens, but when you're that person, because you've invested and you've done things to the best of your ability in terms of being right
Mm-hmm.
and in love, it's literally priceless. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why you got to treat people with love. And I think that's a big part of that concept of the album is, again, regardless of what you're going through, what's happening in the world, um, be the light, be love, be empathetic, compassionate. I think a lot of people can be compassionate, but they're not empathetic. And
Good point.
you learn more about that when you dealing with chronic stuff because of how people
Yes.
treat you. Right.
Yes.
Like right now, I'm in my nice white bow tie. I mean my
Mm-hmm.
polo, just cut my hair, whatever. But bruh, you ain't know 2 days ago I've been in bed because of the nerve pain,
Mm.
from my groin injury, right? Like, and I'm
Here's
sure there's some stuff that you dealt with
oh
and every
yeah,
listener
all the
has dealt
time.
with, you know what I'm saying?
All
And
the
so it's
time.
like I'm
it
human, we human.
it's what I found most engaging about your story is around the same timeline between, like you had mentioned getting started with that one project in 2019, and of course
Hmm.
you subsequently followed in 2021, and now we're in 2025, really on the cusp of 2026. All that time you've been building what your company, you've been building yourself up as an artist, your consultation, your coursework and stuff like that, all the while battling chronic illness, battling
Right.
for, I understand personally, because when your body starts to collapse, fall apart, whatever language we want to use with that, that fucks with your mind too.
Yep. Yep. It's a mental game like no
Yeah.
other, brother.
And you have still managed to successfully accomplish
Hmm.
all that you set out to accomplish. To me, that deserves a round of applause, bro, because
Hmm.
that's what I don't think people get. And like you were talking about earlier when you was like, well, you did all that, and how'd you do that? And like, bro, you don't even know. Like, and then I even had a one point in the last 5 years where I felt like that sting of envy from somebody. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I made a joke to my wife like, these fools don't even know. You don't want to be me. Like they think it looks easy. You have
Yeah,
no
man.
idea. I just had outpatient surgery 2 days
Hmm.
ago. But in the same time frame, just like you, I've managed to build back up my music business, build a podcast, build two other online businesses, and all these things, and all the things that you got going on. That right there, bro. That obviously that's nothing but God, but that's
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
say all that to say to cats that we were mentioning earlier, and I'm gonna stop harping on it. Yeah, they don't want to do the work. Now you got a guy who's battling chronic illness, laid up a couple times a month, in and out of the hospital for the past few years, and he has still managed to build a successful music business. With the album, I noticed that, like I say, you're disseminating a lot of thoughtful information. And like you mentioned earlier, I always admire people who have like what I like to call a solution based mindset, like
Yeah.
solution based thinking.
Yeah.
And I actually started doing that. I did some coursework in and went through myself what they call CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
This helps reframe the mind into things just like how we're talking right now. Everything has an upside to it. Everything has a positive to it.
Yeah.
And like you said a minute ago, we have to be the light. And it became apparent to me recently, and it sounds like you kind of came down a similar corridor, like we keep saying. It's just so crazy, man. These stories that you're sharing is that in that moment of darkness, you still manage to be the light. You're recording all this material. You're working with an intern. You're taking guidance from somebody, as you said, that's younger than you, that's still a student, that doesn't have that same experience as you, but you trust and believe that their input was valuable. And you're making these connections. And when I started going through all your stuff and started looking at everything that you've been doing, it's impressive. It's impressive. It's polished. It doesn't look like it was made down the street. The record doesn't sound like it was made down the street.
I'm sorry. It's just once upon a time it did, yo. Once upon a time it did, man.
Oh man.
Oh, it's a
I,
blessing to be
I
in the
gotta be
show,
silly,
man.
man. I gotta be silly, bro, because
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. I think you can appreciate this more than most. We have to laugh at ourselves sometimes, man.
Yeah, man.
We have to laugh at ourselves at amazement as well as thank you at God's grace, man.
Yeah.
God has
Yeah.
spared you on more than one occasion,
Mm.
and you're dropping this product. And of course, like I said, I'm gonna put the links in there for everybody else to get hip to your product and stuff.
Yeah.
But what I would like to know is what kind of feedback you got, if any, from
Oh, yeah.
listeners that play both projects. These two.
Yeah.
I still got to listen to the third one. Like I finished the Love and Darkness 2. I started on 1, but I didn't get to the other project yet.
Okay. Okay.
So
Nah, but
what's some of the feedback you've been getting?
well, first, the first thing that comes to mind with everything you said is gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Mhm.
And then giving salute to my song, tag this for God's glory. I yeah, I just people don't know, man. Even though I know there's a lot of people like me, um, dealing with chronic, or as they say, invisible disabilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thinks you're fine and you're not, like it's a whole nother level of not being fine, right? Because just
Mm-hmm.
being human, we all dealing with those voices and different things,
Mm-hmm.
what happened to us childhood, like all of that. But when you add your physical health to it, physical and mental health to it, man. But I've made a choice, man. I want to be here. I was willing to be used. And for my Christians out there, I think a lot of people, no, you don't. You don't really want to be used because when it's time, you can't hang. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I also wanted to mention something you said too, um, about like what I've been through and still putting stuff out. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to tell my creatives, like, bruh, just because you got married or you got kids or the money ain't there, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm an example. I've experienced all of it. I rarely had the money to put out a project, but guess what? I still put out the project. I still promoted, I still created content, I still did the things that I could do to promote these emotions with solutions. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I just want to tell people, man, look, it does not matter what you're going through. You cannot quit. You cannot stop. You may have to slow down though. You may have to redirect yourself or pivot is my favorite word,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Talk
You
to
got to
him.
figure that out, but you do
Mm-hmm.
not need to stop. If it is in you, it's got to come out.
Right.
I mean, I know you probably had the same thing, bro. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
quit this sucker. I don't know how many times, right? Just over the last few months, I'm like, bro, do I really want to do this? Should I still be
Mm-hmm.
doing this? Because I'm educated. I'm this. I'm da 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 da. Like I shouldn't be in this position to do this. I should have everything, all the resources,
Mm-hmm.
all that talk. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you hear. Matter of fact, shout out. I believe her name is Diana. She just purchased some music. She purchased, matter of fact, she purchased the Love and Darkness title record, which is
Okay.
probably my favorite song on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Purchased the song and the instrumental. So thank you. Um, just moments like that
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere. I don't know who this person is, where they came from, how they found me. And she didn't leave a note.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know any feedback. You know how it is, like you
Right.
said.
Right. Right. Right.
What feedback have you gotten, if any? Because a lot of times, if any is not so much that people haven't heard it, but people aren't just giving in that way,
People.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That.
it
Yeah.
sucks, but it is what it is. But I figured I knew you because you're my twin. I knew
Yeah.
you knew what I was.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
um, but just moments like that, or let's see, no condom. The record,
I was
no
going to get to
condom on
that.
Love and Darkness too. People have commented a lot on that, and it's like, yo, like this joint is, it's like I've gotten, um, like I really like that song, and I'm kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, really? Because I know what the song is talking about. Like it's probably the rawest I've ever been on a record. I
Yeah.
produced it. Shout out to Pastor Mike Todd. I used, his sermon, bits and pieces on it because I
Mm-hmm.
thought this particular sermon about sex. I can't remember the title off the top of my head, but it blew my mind because he talked about sex in a way that I have never heard a pastor talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking notes. And I eventually, in taking notes, I was like, I got to do a song about this.
Right.
And I wasn't. Pastor Todd, I did reach out to you in case you hear this. I did reach out to you. I haven't heard from you or your people, but I still put the song out because I felt like it was necessary. And that's the feedback that I've been getting, whether it's been like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is my favorite song, or like, yo, you really talked about some stuff on this,
Mm-hmm.
and it has me thinking. And of course, that's really all I want my music to do. Um, Trying to think, there have been some like more in-depth
Mm-hmm.
feedback early on when the joint came out. And I did a podcast too with it, No Condom Podcast. Again, having hard conversations. Episodes are paired to certain songs
Mm-hmm.
that we really dive into and
Okay.
talk
Take a deep
about.
dive.
Yeah, not so much like how I made the record. Or like there's some of that I think in a few episodes,
Mhm.
but it's really like unfolding what like in No Condom, particularly that song,
I've got to
what
check
sex
that.
does to people,
I've
what
got to
sex
check that
does to people.
episode out because those are the
Yeah,
conversations I like.
yeah, man.
Not so much about. I don't really. I like it if I'm creating. If we're in the lab together and
Uh-huh.
we're cooking up something, then I want to talk about equipment. But a lot of
Yeah,
times I
yeah,
don't necessarily care about the processes of music. I like
yeah,
to
yeah,
talk about the inspiration behind the song,
yeah,
the
yeah.
concept of the song, what feelings it fleshes out.
Hmm.
I definitely got to check that out. I gotta
Yeah,
look for that link.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely
Um,
something that I think adds to the value of behind the music, so to speak. And
mhm,
so yeah, I appreciate people that have, but I think even when you don't get the big response, I think
mhm.
right now, it's probably at like 100,000 plus streams. No, maybe
Okay.
like 120-ish. I haven't looked in a while.
Mhm.
Um, like that's great. Um, in comparison to my top artists, we just scored 500 plus streams on Spotify with
And that's
one record.
the Haitian guy, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So like
What's his name, by
it's
the way?
Damian Lewis. Shout out to my
Damian
guy
Lewis.
Damian.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Damian Lewis.
Um, a big accomplishment in that, but seeing it on like that milestone, and 100K on the project is still a big
Hmm.
milestone too, right? But just seeing the difference, right? I just still hope that even if people don't hit me up and say, Jastin, this song, da 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 da, da, that is in these listens,
Hmm.
that is really hitting home with people, that they are utilizing these solutions, that they
Hmm.
are, you know, recognizing my pain and love and darkness too, but also realize you still just gotta love though, right?
Yeah.
You still just gotta be the light, right? So no matter what people say or don't say, I'm always believing like when every time I put a record out, man, it ain't mine no more. I've heard this years
Hmm.
and years ago. Like once it's out, it's out. Like,
Hmm.
yes, I want to do my job to get it out and share it to people, and hopefully the reach is large,
Hmm.
right? But if it doesn't reach those numbers, I guarantee you the one person that heard it or watched a video or whatever the case is, hey, it's one at a time, man. That's how I started.
Hey,
One at a time. It's
that's
one like one comment. Hey man, how
yeah.
you doing?
That's our
If I get
motto at
another one,
Powerblast, bro. At Powerblast, that's
yeah,
what we say. One at a
one
time,
at a
one person at a
time.
time. We're gonna reach one person at a
That's
time.
right. It's
Uh,
true. Cliche, but it's true, man.
it is. I mean, it's almost like, for example, with me, like before we started the actual show, we were talking a little bit about uh just music and stuff like that. And you had mentioned one of the tracks that I did. With me, it's and I kind of hearing you speak and then listen to the project, it's almost like, again, I can't say it enough. People gonna think we rehearsed this, bro, but we are like twins. It's like I don't really like to say nothing unless I have something to say. And it sounds like you do too, but you had a lot to say. So,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's
yeah.
a beautiful thing, man. It's I don't think that musicians are looking to push something to say. And then even go in a step further with solutions. We can always
That
talk about
part.
the problem. And I'm guilty of that.
Yep.
On social media, I'll repost the problem as long as I can, just to be a disruptor for the moment. But I do it to start conversations, to start
Yes.
dialogue,
Yep. Yep.
not discourse. I'm not gonna engage the hostiles, but healthy conversations to find solutions to these little and large problems that we have. And I think your record in that way can touch the people that way. And again, it's not all about the numbers, even though when I switch hats, I'm a very analytical guy when I have to be
Right.
in terms of the
Right.
numbers and stuff. But as you said, you're reaching people and the message, and I don't want to say the message like the cliche message, but the information that you're disseminating, as a friend of mine said to me one time, you're disseminating this information and people are feeling it and it's making people think and it's making people contemplate, making people reflect. I think that's the get. And then one other thing I noticed, and this may help you too. What I also noticed that once I did start my podcast last year and me started to share more of my story, that went straight back to the music
Yeah.
because a
Yeah.
lot of similar to your story, but in different instances, a lot of things are included in the music in terms of perseverance overcoming obstacles, staying motivated, being disciplined, and things of that nature, and overcoming everything that may come at you, just not giving up, just keep going and understanding, like you said earlier, it's okay if people fall off. And I don't mean fall off to diss anybody. I mean, they like
Yeah.
a leaf falls off the tree.
Well, yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's autumn, it's fall. It's time for people to fall off. It's time for transformation. And you had mentioned that you like to reflect. Black men don't like to reflect. We don't like to look in the mirror.
Yeah, man.
We can always evaluate the next man, but we don't want to
Yeah.
evaluate ourselves,
Yep.
which lends to, I feel like projects like yours are necessary. And it's not about the 100K or 120K versus the 500K. It's about you being able to be the human that you are and share your experiences. Somebody's going to be impacted by that.
Yep.
And then going back to the comments or feedback, or if any, it's always a wonder. And then this touches on you with the 100K versus 500K. You picked the harder road, bro.
Mhm.
Because as you said about me, I'm saying it back to you. You telling the truth, in spite of how it may make you look. You don't care if you look a little weak, because it's not really weakness. You're just being transparent and vulnerable. But
Yep.
you understand that, it sounds like to me. So
Absolutely.
I think albums like that are necessary, and I think conversations like these are necessary. But I would also encourage you. What we talked about last week is to start building back up and getting your podcast going 100%,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's going to lend to people getting to understand you as a person, and then they'll start to appreciate the music even more.
Yep.
And then it'll all start to feed each other. But you know this, but people that are
Yeah.
listening
Yeah.
may
No,
not know this. You know
I
this.
love it, and I receive it. It keeps me more encouraged because shout out to my marketing manager, Shantae. We had a goal and plan, and then we pivoted
Hmm.
to doing the podcast as a release leading up to
Hmm.
or promotion leading up to the release of the project. And I loved it, man. It was a dope experience to talk in a different way about the music,
Hmm.
that I think honestly can go further. Like we talked about last week, it's like, oh, people, first time people hearing me, they don't know.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh wait, this brother do music. Oh wait, he the one that's, oh shoot,
Right.
let me go back. Or, oftentimes like when I see interviews of artists that I'm like, I heard their music or they blowing up. I'm like, I'm not really feeling it.
Hmm.
But most of the time when I see an interview and get to know them a little bit, I'm like, oh shoot, I want to go listen to this
It
record
makes you
now.
reevaluate.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I definitely, it's gonna be a new thing that I do want to do in terms of when I'm releasing a project, that you'll get podcast episodes that go along with it.
Hmm.
I'm also looking to do some things in between, like when I'm not releasing a single or a
Hmm.
project. But the body had allowed me to do a lot this year, but it's okay. I think that's the beauty of creating, man, is like everybody wants to, like, I need to drop, and I get it. And
Hmm.
I get what that can do for a lot of people. I've seen it with Damien,
Hmm.
right? He's taking the information that I've given him, and he don't even do half the stuff I do.
Right.
But what he has done, it has worked for him.
Hmm.
I've done the same thing, and bro, it's like night and day. But that's the beauty of it all and if you're doing it from a loving place,
Hmm.
right? I think healthy jealousy ain't nothing wrong with it. Like, yeah, you want certain things, you want to meet certain goals, but if you don't, it's okay.
Hmm.
Trust in what the work that you've put in, what you're doing and how you're doing it, and most importantly for me, the why you're doing it.
Hmm.
And that's what I have to look at and reevaluate, especially when I do feel like I'm getting in my feelings and I'm reflecting, because you see it like, oh man, so many people getting it, or oh man, this artist sound like me, or oh, they putting out something like, bro, I put out like 6 albums ago the same record. Like, what are you talking, like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like I ain't gonna lie, I have definitely been there
Too.
and
I
have
do the
said
same.
that,
I do the same
right?
thing.
And then you gotta look at, well, like, dang, I ain't really market that joint though. You know what I mean? Like, all right,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's my L. That's
Hmm.
and so thinking about it in that way really challenge you. But I look at it like you said, people look at being vulnerable, especially black men, because that's what we're taught. I was taught by my mom the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at her and I was like, I don't know, like 6 or something. It's like, that don't sound right. Like,
Right.
if it hurts, shouldn't I cry? Like, I don't understand. Like,
Right.
and I've kind of carried that over, but being vulnerable is a superpower, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, it's the biggest strength that you have.
Mm-hmm.
It does so many things, not only for you, but for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, bro, I am okay with it. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. I would love to get a project that's over 500,000 streams or 1 million or hell, win a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if none of that ever happens, I'm proud of the work that I put out here. I am so proud because I know at some point it is going to change a mass amount of people.
I
Right.
love that. I love that.
So I honestly believe that, regardless of, my bad days or, the desires of a typical artist,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I want the fans, I want the da 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 da, but I know it will, man. And I think that's really why I do it at this point. Like, I think I might have one more
Yo, if you
album,
enjoyed
maybe
this
2
episode, you
albums
got to
in.
check out this next video. Also, don't forget to like,
At least for
subscribe, and
now,
hit the
God tell me
notification
what to
bell.
do, then
You'll
I
be the
do it.
first to get
But
all the new content, all the new motivational
that's really
content,
what it's
all the
about,
new
man.
music,
And
and all the
figuring
behind the
out now
scenes
new
footage. And you'll
ways
be the first to know
to
what's
present
going
to
on.
people.
This is Music
So,
Therapy
like
and
with the
Motivation. I'm your
podcast,
host, Gino Black. I want you to
joining with
get
people
activated,
like
and I hope you
yourself,
stay motivated.
whatever the
Peace.
case is, it's gonna be dope. But I feel more encouraged by what you said. So thank you.